Hey there, welcome to yet another video from Time, the leaders in test prep. So, before I proceed, do not forget to like, follow and subscribe to our channel www.timecourses. In this vocabulary session, let's take a look at the topic for the day, unraveling the rich tapestry of words. How do we do that? We, in the process, understand lexical relationships. Now, if you wonder what I am talking about, then let me take you further. So, the moment we start preparing for vocab, this is a common question that pops up in our minds. Why do words matter? Well, words matter because they help us discover the magic of language, and it's not just that, they do a lot more. When we start delving into the deep world or the magical world of words, then we uncover surprises, we explore connections, and in the process we enhance our vocabulary. Okay, so how does this happen? Now, when we learn how words have multiple meanings, or we understand the origins from which they come, they could be unexpected places from which words come, then it helps us uncover so many surprises that are hidden in words. This in the process helps you know more about words and also remember them better, because you always have some story associated with those words. When we see how different words are linked not just by language but also by history, culture and clever quirks, this also helps us remember those words better. So, we do not have to memorize words because we know the background those words have, and this helps us retain them in our minds, and this in the process helps us improve or enhance our word power. So, I will take you through a few word categories, and when you understand how these word categories can help you, you will know that they will make you a more powerful communicator. Okay? So, with this, let us get ready to dive into the fun and intricate world of language. So, take a look at what I have here. We have synonyms, antonyms, eponyms, toponyms, metonyms, contronyms, homonyms, demonyms, heteronyms, homophones, homographs, polysemy, neologisms, archaic words and colloquialisms. Finally, there are also loan words. Now, when you take a look at this list, I am sure there would be a few which you are already familiar with, beginning with synonyms and antonyms, which we do have a lot of idea about. There are a few more which you may have some understanding of, and you may also find in the list so many more which you have never heard of, or you may never have come across them. So, let us try to understand them better. So, let us first talk about the familiar ones. Let me tell you more about synonyms and antonyms. So, what are synonyms? Synonyms are those words that have similar meanings, and as I have already said, all of you are aware of what synonyms mean, how they are defined, and of course, you may already have an idea of a lot of synonyms. So, we have an example. For example, you have brisk and nimble, and both of these are synonyms of each other. Now, synonyms do what and why do we need them? Why do we need to have a lot of synonyms in our word kitty? That's because they enrich language by offering nuanced alternatives and enhancing our expression. So, in order to avoid redundancy by using the same word repeatedly, if that be the case, then if we have a lot of words that have similar meaning and we know that they can be used interchangeably, we can avoid this kind of repetition because they offer the alternatives for the same word that we need to use in that particular context. Okay. What comes up next are antonyms, words that have opposite meanings, and here is an example. Sparse and dense are antonyms. So, sparse is something which is thin and dense is something which is thick, and both of them are opposites of each other. What do antonyms do and why do we need them? Well, they clarify meaning by highlighting the contrast or the opposites, and they define boundaries in the process. Now, we come to the lesser known but fascinating ones. What are they? The first is eponyms. What are eponyms? Eponyms are derived from the names of people. Now, take a look at the word eponym itself. It says nyms. Okay, so each of these refers to a name, and they are words that are derived from the names of people, typically the names of inventors, authors or other notable figures. Now, eponyms are actually very interesting, and I have a very interesting example also which you will be able to remember because it is so interesting. So, sandwich, something that we are very fond of, is an eponym, and it is derived from John Montague, the 4th Earl of Sandwich. It is said that this person used to have cold meat pressed between 2 slices of bread, and that is why that dish came to be known as a sandwich, because this person was the Earl of Sandwich, and so that what he used to eat regularly came to be known as a sandwich. Interesting, isn't it? Well, eponyms link words to notable figures, as you may have already understood by this example, and they in the process preserve the legacy of these people, these important figures in language. So, this is an additional work that words do, that eponyms do. Then we have toponyms. So, toponyms are words that come from the names of places or geographical locations. You may have come across the word topography, which is related to how the terrain is. So, topo means land, and words that come from the names of places or geographical locations are called toponyms. So, here is an example. London is one, and Texas. So, London and Texas are toponyms because they come from the names of places or geographical locations. What do they do? How do they help us? They reflect cultural and historical influences, enriching language with geographical context. So, when the moment you hear of this word, okay, London for instance, or you come across it, you would relate it to the area which is named after it. Okay, so this is how toponyms help us. If you have a list of these words, or if you are able to identify them when you come across them, and you identify them as toponyms, or you identify words as synonyms, antonyms, even as eponyms, then your understanding of words becomes deeper than what it was earlier. Okay, so this is how these categories help us. We then have the obscure yet intriguing ones. Now, they are obscure because you may not have heard of them, but now at least you have more clarity. Metonyms are words that are used to refer to something closely related to them, and the example is the White House. So, the moment you come across this phrase, the White House, what pops in your mind? The US President and the administration. So, the White House is then a metonym for the US President and the administration that is a part of the scene. Okay, so, White House is an example of a metonym. Now, metonyms are very important because they create vivid imagery. As I said, the moment you come across this word, the White House, then you think about the US, you think about the US President, you think about so much that is associated with the US President and the US. So, they create a vivid imagery and enhance understanding by connecting to familiar concepts. The next is contronyms. So, contro is contrast or an opposite, and these words are those that have two opposite meanings, which means that at the same time these words can have those two meanings which are opposites of each other. The example will help you understand this word better. The contronym cleave can mean to split apart or to adhere closely. Okay. and contronyms embody the complexity of language. Now, doesn't it sound complex when you come across a word which means something and also means its opposite? So, here we understand that contronyms embody the complex aspect of language, revealing how context shapes meaning. Okay, I hope I am making sense. Now, we have a few more obscure yet intriguing ones, and the next in the list is homonyms. Homo, words that sound the same. Homo is same and homonyms are words that sound the same or are spelled the same but have different meanings. So, bat is a homonym. Why? Because it can mean a flying mammal, and it can also be the name given to a piece of sport equipment. So, bat is then an example of a homonym. We have so many others that float around us. Please try to identify them and remember them. So, the additional note about homonyms is that they highlight the importance of context in understanding meaning. We have the next one now, which is a demonym. Demonym is a word which is used to denote the people from a specific location or from a specific place. For example, the demonym Parisian refers to someone from Paris and New Yorker refers to someone from New York. Similarly, Indian refers to a person from India, and all of these words are demonyms. So, nyms means name and demo is for people. So, if you are able to also remember the root word and the meaning of the root word or the prefixes and suffixes that I discussed with you in my previous videos, then these will become more easily, they will become more easy for you to remember. Okay. The additional input is that a demonym offers a quick way to identify someone's origin, enriching both conversations and writing. And the lone one now, what's that? Heteronyms. So, hetero, the root word means other or different, and how are heteronyms different from homonyms? Let's take a look. So, heteronyms are words that are spelled the same but have different pronunciations and meanings. Here's an example. L-E-A-D. Now, the common pronunciation is lead. What is lead? Lead is a heteronym, and it is a heteronym because it is pronounced in two different ways. It is pronounced as lead when it means to guide, and it is pronounced as lead when it refers to a type of metal. So, I hope this example helps you understand why lead is in this category of heteronyms. Mastering heteronyms does what? It helps improve both pronunciation and comprehension. Okay, so with this I come to the end of this video. I hope these categories have given you some idea of what power words have, what kind of hidden meanings they are, and how they help us uncover those surprises. So, please keep following, liking and subscribe to our channel www.timecourses. I'll come up with more such videos soon. All the best. Have a good day.